looking forward to wearing pointe shoes because I really want to stand on the top of my toes in ballet.
Hi, I'm Louise and I'm here in our dance studio within St Elizabeth's Church, and this is our channel, Louise Ryrie Creative World. We've always been a big family here, supporting all of our dancers. We teach toddlers right up to adults, and our teenagers have always been really good at supporting and encouraging our younger dancers. So today we thought we'd make a video all about dreaming of having pointe shoes. Some of our youngsters here have thought of some questions that they've got about being on pointe, and we thought it'd be lovely if some of the dancers that they look up to here could answer them for them, especially now as we're still in lockdown and they don't get to see each other. So we're going to get into those question and answers in just a moment.
Hello, my name is Jess and today I'm going to be answering some of your questions about pointe shoes. So I started dancing when I was around 4 years old, and I got my first ever pair of pointe shoes when I was 12. And I can remember feeling really excited and also a little bit nervous because I had some questions that I didn't know the answers to. So I thought it'd be nice to answer some of the questions that you've asked.
Hi girls, my name is Michaela. I was interested in dancing since the age of 3 years old, and I went back at 7. I took on this journey where I was able to reach my goal of getting onto pointe shoes when I was 12 years old.
If you're into dance or movement, drama or singing, or generally all things creative, then don't forget to press subscribe and turn on your notifications, and then you won't miss any of our videos. For now, we're going to get on and find out all about those questions and answers about dancing on pointe.
Does it hurt your toes when you go on pointe?
So pointe shoes don't really hurt when you're in them. It might be a little bit of a weird sort of tingly feeling. But after you take them off, sometimes your feet might ache a little bit because they've been working so hard.
For me, it doesn't hurt because we have a lot of protection between our toes and the pointe shoes, such as gel pads. You can get other things like toe separators, but it doesn't necessarily hurt. It more is like achy is the feeling, but not when you're on pointe. It's after you take the pointe shoe off.
When you first go up on pointe, your toes will feel sore because you're not used to the feel yet, but there are special gel pads that are put over your toes so you can have the cushiony feel inside of the shoe. But as you develop as a dancer, you will get used to the feeling.
Hello, I'm Daniela and I'm almost 14 years old. I started ballet when I was 2.5 and I started pointe work when I was 11. Does it hurt my toes when going onto pointe? Not as much as you think it might. As long as you have the correct shoe size for you and they're broken in properly, it shouldn't hurt too much.
When I first started it did, but I've been on pointe for 7 years now, so it doesn't really hurt anymore. And also I've always found that I get very lost in the movement, and when I get lost in the movement I'm not thinking about the pain, I'm just thinking about what I'm doing, and it doesn't really hurt.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I started ballet when I was 15, which is quite late, and then I went on to pointe when I was 17. So when you first start pointe, it's quite uncomfortable, but that's because your body's not used to being balanced on the tops of your toes. But as you dance on pointe more, your feet begin to harden and your shoes begin to mold to your feet. So it hurts less and less. And personally, my toes go numb if I'm on pointe for a certain amount of time. So it doesn't necessarily hurt my toes, but it's all about all the other muscles in your body that help keep you up and help keep you balanced while you're on pointe.
I'm looking forward to having pointe shoes because I'd like to have lace-up ribbons. Why do pointe shoes have ribbons?
So pointe shoes have ribbons to keep the heel of your pointe shoe from slipping off when you go onto pointe, and to give your ankle a little bit of support.
So the reason pointe shoes have ribbons is to give your foot some support and stop it from moving around and going in the wrong position when you're dancing.
Pointe shoes have ribbons because when you first get them, they're very stiff and you have to break them in. But when you're breaking them in, they can sometimes fall off your foot. So the main reason a ribbon is on a pointe shoe is to keep your foot secure.
Why is there ribbon on our pointe shoes? Well, it's to support the feet and ankles in the safe way as possible while still having the capability of movement through the feet onto pointe and still having a lovely arch without the heel popping off the back of the foot. I personally use elastic ribbon because it's easiest for me to work through my feet, but always ask your teachers for advice when picking out ribbon.
The ribbons are sewed into the inside of your shoe to support your ankles and your arches when you are up on pointe. This is how it looks.
My question is, how long and how hard would you have to work to get to pointe?
It's not going to be easy at first, but if you believe in yourself and focus and listen to your teachers, you'll be able to achieve your goal. Hard work and dedication does pay off in the end.
Before starting pointe, I made sure my feet and ankles were very strong, so always take advice from your teachers before starting pointe work. Before class, I like to do a few exercises to prepare my feet and ankles. I take my blue spiky ball and I put it under the arch of my foot and slowly roll backwards and forwards to loosen the metatarsals so it's easier to rise. Then I would take my TheraBand and gently work through my feet.
The process of training to get pointe shoes starts from interfoundation, where you start to strengthen your feet and your ankles.
You usually move up with a few other people, and when everyone else goes to do their pointe work, you sit separately and you do some feet and ankle strengthening exercises that Bridget and Louise give you.
Pointe takes a lot of hard work and strengthening of your feet so that you are going to be strong enough to hold yourself on top of your toes. But that is what your teachers are building you up towards. So every single ballet class that you are in is strengthening your feet, and eventually you will be strong enough for it, which is when they'll tell you you can get them.
So when you're around 12 years old and you're ready to get your pointe shoes, you need to do a few weeks of training your ankles, toes and feet before you can get your pointe shoes, so that they're nice and strong and your feet are ready for when they go on pointe.
What is inside the points that make them so flat?
To make the shoe so flat, there are layers of paper and fabric that are glued together, giving the stiffness of the shoe. And it looks like this.
What makes the ends of pointe shoes so hard? Well, you've got the block of the shoe and the platform of the shoe, and they are both mainly consistent of leather and fabric and glue. And the glue is, when it hardens, it makes the platform, and that is what is hard about the end of the shoe. I like to darn around the edges of the platform so that I know when I'm fully over the platform and I can get the better results in my feet.